Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel. My name is Rich. Name of the channel is Rich the Return Rider. For all of you folks that's here for the first time, thanks for tuning in. For all you folks that's return viewers, I appreciate you coming back. For all that subscribe to the channel, I appreciate the support. This channel is based on my wife and my journey back into riding motorcycles after being away for 20 plus years. We've been back now, I think approximately 4 years or so. And we do videos, guys, sharing our experience and our journey with you guys as we go forward. Now, anything I learn on this channel, guys, I share my opinions about the motorcycles. What you're looking at here on the left, guys, is my 2019 Honda Goldwing Ruby. And on the right side over there, my 2012 Suzuki Boulevard M109R Suzy. And I recently did a video about the Honda Goldwing breaking down and the things not to let happen to you. And again, that's part of my experience, no expert or anything on that. But the video was well received. But the thing that I thought was most interesting about that video, guys, is the stuff, the comments, the information in the comment section. So go check that video out. But just as important, look into the comment section where you can get lots of information. This seems to be a pretty common thing. I don't know if it's just about Honda Goldwings or the newer motorcycles in general, but I even watched Rich from Boots and Jeans Rider do a video with him at a gas station and the motorcycle also failing. But what I want to do, I don't want to beat this into the ground, guys, but the things that I want to do, or one of the things that I want to do, is share our experience on that specific day with you. Now, we always take it for granted that when we have these insurance companies and we're paying for towing, that towing will be readily available, especially in a place like Savannah, Pula, and so forth. What we encountered on that specific day, Lauren and I, is, as you can see us there with Wood Jr. While I'm trying to work on the bike, she's trying to reach out to the insurance company for a tow truck. And what we were informed on that day is that they didn't have any tow trucks in the area that tow motorcycles. So again, one of those things that you encounter, you think, hey, you know, I got this, so I paid for this. And when you want it, it's not readily available. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about in this video, now I was also told by one of my co-workers that in his Harley Davidson package, when he purchased it, it includes free towing to Harley Davidson. Anytime the Harley Davidson motorcycle breakdown, you know, there's free towing. We also got back to the hotel and we found out, after communicating back and forth with our insurance person, that if we could have gotten a truck to tow the motorcycle and pay for it up front, we would have been reimbursed. But from what we got from them, within the region we was in, we couldn't get a tow truck to tow the bike. Now I know that's garbage, unless Harley Davidson tow only day stuff. Harley Davidson does provide towing. So if I had to pay a Harley Davidson tow truck to tow it to the hotel, that's what I would have done, but maybe that's not what they do. Leave it in the comment section below. But what I want to talk about, guys, is being prepared, man, and not being in a position where you're stranded. And as you see from the title of the video there, the minimal tools that I'll be carrying so that specific situation don't happen to me again. So let's talk a little bit about it. Now, of course, guys, I'm not going to go through it again, but I talk about the NOCO Boost battery charger, exceptional battery charger that even seemed to charge dead batteries from what I saw. But one of the comments in the comment section, guys, was to make sure you find a way to cover your buttons that's just sitting on the top of this charge pack here. Because what the commenter said is that they had inadvertently hit the button, I think it was the light button, and the light came on and stayed on, and you know, that can kill the charger. When you're ready to use it again, it won't be readily accessible. So if there's a little bracket or something that I'll put around here and strap it down so that doesn't happen. I realized this morning while I was messing with this, I did hit the light and the light did come on. So that's one of the things that you want to be conscious of. But again, a good charging battery pack. I'm sure if Rich had that also, that he could have probably jumped the bike and got it back home to the garage and then changed the battery out. The other thing is, guys, having the tools. Now, after, even if I had gotten a ride to O'Reilly's or Advanced Auto, putting the battery on would have been another challenge. So let's talk about that. Having adequate tools to put the battery, to swap out your battery. First and foremost, the one that I would be using, or I'm going to be carrying, this is Husky. I think these are from Home Depot. It was a 6mm 6mm Allen wrench. And this was to remove the seat. I'm pretty comfortable removing the seat. I've done lots of stuff to the motorcycle, but you don't have to remove the seat to change the battery, but it gives you a little bit more clearance, you know, room to work, see what you're doing. 6mm. Now, 5mm is not part of the process of changing out the battery, but a lot of things on this motorcycle carries this 5mm Allen wrench. I'm going to advise that you carry that with you. You never know what you're going to encounter that you might need it. Now, I didn't know about this. It's a little unusual. This is a 3mm. And what this helps to do, guys, is to remove your floorboard panel right there. That will give you a little bit more clearance to get to that battery. Now, when I changed my battery, I didn't remove that. But when I watched Cruise Man Garage and I watched Chris Caliente change their batteries out, they talk about removing your floorboard to give yourself a little bit more clearance. 3mm is what's recommended for one of the lower Allen key bolts. You can also use this for the rivets. You pop the rivets and pull it out, or you can use a screwdriver. We'll get to that in a little while. 3mm, that's gonna be in my traveling pack. Now the other thing is there's a bar that goes over the battery. You're not gonna be able to access the battery without removing that bar. So what I got here, guys, is a 1/4 inch drive ratchet. This one have a little swivel, gives me a little bit more flexibility. I also have an extension on it. Actually, I have this extension, then I have a shorter one. 10mm bolt to remove that bracket. And then on the lower part of where you're gonna remove in that floorboard is also another 10mm that you're gonna have to move. So I also carry a 12, guys. 12 seems to be pretty handy also. So those things there, this looks like a lot of stuff, guys, but this stuff conveniently fits into a little bag. All of this stuff fits into a little bag that goes into the corner of the bike. Again, we're gonna talk a little bit more about that. I try to go through this so I don't want the video too long. But the other thing here when we're talking about jumping the battery is we talk about that, how hard it is to get that positive cable. Again, Traction Dynamics, Max McAllister, and them have an actual little extender bolt for the battery terminal that helps you to be able to connect your terminals, especially the positive terminal here, straight to your connector for your battery charger. In my case, guys, I also carry this as a tender connector, and it comes with 2 alligator clips here. These things are getting a little weathered. I know Wood Jr. didn't trust these, so he wanted to get, you know, directly to the battery, but I think these stairs should be able to do you fine as far as easy access to jump in that battery. Your choice. Again, the other thing I'm gonna talk about is when you're removing that lower 10mm bolt, unless you push this little wire bracket that's there, a little connector in, you might need some needle nose, bird beak, whatever you want to call these, long nose pliers. This one here is a little shorter one with a little curve, but you can grab that connector and pop it out so you have access to getting that 10mm bolt off if you're removing that floorboard. Now, what I did to get the battery out, because I didn't know about that at the time, is I actually put a screwdriver behind it and pry it back. The thing that was interesting on that day, guys, is I had no tools, or the tools that I thought I had wasn't in the bike. A little bit more, hang into the video, guys, and we're going to talk about some of the other things that will prevent you from being stranded out there on the bike. But anyway, let's go on one step at a time. The other thing that I carry is some dikes, some wire snippers here, cutting pliers, whatever you want to call it. I also have a smaller version of that helps me to clip wires a little neater, or help me to cut. What I always carry here also is some zip ties. Use them, you know, something to carry just for different, you know, different applications. Small adjustable wrench. In case my socket doesn't fit, I might still have some room to play with this. There's supposed to be a vice grip here also that I have. Anyway, but I also carry a small vice grip instead of a pliers. I think I put it over there because I was doing some work. And this here, guys, is a great tool. A magnet for any kind of metal or any bolts or anything that was dropped into the Honda Goldwing eat bolts, clips, and all kind of stuff up. You drop stuff in there, sometimes it's hard to access it. If you can see it, you can probably reach it with a magnet. The other thing here, guys, is a scissors. Little random scissors that I carry. I put a little rubber piece on it here so it doesn't stab anyone. And of course, to get the terminal off, you're gonna need either a screwdriver. I think the one that came off had a flathead. The one that went on was a Phillips connector. So yeah, those are the things that you'll need to change your battery out. It's one thing to access the battery, guys. It's another thing not to have the tools to make the switch. When I got back to the hotel after I got the jump from Wood Jr. and I got back to the hotel, the bike stalled before I can put it in the trailer. Again, the battery. So I had to go to O'Reilly's, get a battery, and then I had problems trying to get the battery on. One of the things that I'm going to do too, guys, is going to be a whole other video, is I'm going to be adding a winch to my trailer so that when I commute like that, if I can get access back to the hotel or wherever I am staying, I can use the winch to pull the bike up if the bike is disabled in any way, form, or fashion. The goal, guys, is not to get stranded out there where you don't have access to certain things. You might not even have signal. You might be riding in the mountains. You might not have phone signal. So it's great to have these things, man, to be able to get you, to get you back to your destination, or at least to get you to the closest spot where, you can get other repairs done. All right, folks, so we're gonna move on from the battery. All that's the things that you're gonna need to get the battery going or to get your bike started. Hopefully that's all it is. Anyway, we always say, this bike fails, that bike, but if it's man-made, guys, it's fallible. I don't care what you ride. I don't care what you drive. Everything have the potential to break or to fail at some point. Anyway, let's move on now. This is kind of a bonus coverage here now because the idea was to talk about the stuff that I'll be using to get to the battery and to change the battery, but I also thought this stuff was important. One of the things that I struggled with on the day that I got there, guys, because it's something that I don't practice. When I first got the motorcycle, I was pretty comfortable in some of the procedures as far as getting in the motorcycle and so forth. So let's talk about it first. First, we got a fob here. If this fob goes dead, guys, your bike is not going to start. There's an emergency start procedure for starting the bike. I also, again, I saw Cruiseman Garage. He goes through the steps of being able to start the bike with the emergency code and so forth. I've tried mine, and the code that I received with this motorcycle that I bought used does not work. Still trying to get it from the dealers because the dealership that I went to don't provide it, so I have to go through the Honda manufacturers to get the code. So right now I have no emergency start. Guys, that's one of the things that you want to think about. But the steps to get into the bike to do a lot of the things that we need to do, guys, start with this fob. And as we push a little button here to the side, a little clip, again, Cruiseman goes through that, but be careful when you push that clip. There's a little battery, there's a little key that's there. I'm gonna go to Home Depot and see if they can duplicate this key. I'll probably keep it on the bike somewhere, stashed, in case, you never know. If your fobs get damaged or the battery is dead, this is one of the things that you need to be able to access. In the comment section, again, guys, somebody talked about using the fob, the lights coming on, but it was not enough battery in their fob to start the motorcycle. I didn't think that was possible. So with this key, there's a little panel. We're going to go to the back of the motorcycle. We're going to lift it off. Now, Max McAllister from Traction Dynamics have a little accessory piece that makes it easy to pop that clip out. And when he was doing that video, he also talked about losing that panel in the back. If you don't pop that thing in properly, you'll lose it somewhere. And I wish I had watched that video. Again, information now that I'm sharing with you guys. I wish I had watched that video before putting my panel back on, because at this point, I don't know where the panel is. And I'm thinking while I was going on the highway somewhere, that panel must have popped off and just disappeared into the wind somewhere. But anyway, so you want to pop that panel off. You're going to put the key in. When you turn this key, it opens up the left saddlebag. I had no problem doing that, but when I got to the left saddlebag, one of the things that I struggle with is I thought the lever that I was pulling, that's really for your helmet lid lock, was the one to open up the right saddlebag. Again, if you don't practice these things, guys, when you're in an emergent situation, you could be in bad weather, you could be in a dangerous situation, you could be in a panicky situation, you will forget these steps. Again, like everything else when it comes to motorcycling, man, we need to practice even the simple stuff for emergency situations. So if you look up at the top here, there's a little ring that's hooked onto a little connector. If you pull that ring, it opens up the right saddlebag, which is where my jumper pack, the halo that didn't start the bike, was. And where I had minimal tools at the time, not the minimal tools that I have today, but a lot less than this, maybe a screwdriver and a pliers. I don't remember what else I had, but it wasn't enough to actually move the battery. I had to buy tools that day to be able to install the battery just to get the bike back on the trailer. So I'm sharing this with you guys so you don't have the same experience. So you pull that little lever, it opens up the right saddlebag. When you're doing an emergency start with the motorcycle, the saddlebags also need to be open. So you need to be able to do these procedures. That's pretty much it. The other thing is, man, let's talk about the other emergency. And I'm not talking about blowouts, but I'm talking about plugging your tire. Now, I live in a construction area here. My daughter came to visit me one day and I had to use the plug kit. So what you're looking at here, guys, is my plug kit. It goes with these little strips here. I think they're called rope strips or bacon strips, whatever they want to call them. There's a lot of other things out there on the market. I've watched videos of other things, but this is what I'm used to using. These, to me, it's been pretty reliable. I've had these in tires way longer than I should have on a car. I'm not feel comfortable with using them that long on a motorcycle. But again, it comes here with your reaming tool. It comes here with your little cement and the instructions on how to plug a tire. But what I'm going to tell you, folks, is one of the things that I'm thinking about getting on Amazon is a little drill. I think they're 4-volt drills, because sometimes reaming that tire out is pretty difficult. Depends on how small the hole is that you're dealing with. So anyway, guys, tire patch kit. Well, what's a tire patch kit without CO2 cartridges to help inflate the tire? Instead of a CO2 cartridge, guys, what I have seen on MC Rider, I've had this thing for a couple of years now. It's called the Psych Plus. Let's pull it out real quick and take a look at it. So what this is your little compressor. It comes with a charger. I think this is a USB to USB charger. A little attachment to hook up to your valve stem. Check it out. Now I gotta tell you, folks, this one here has been leaking. I've had it a couple of years. I hooked it on the boulevard to air the tire up, and there's some leaking that's going on, and I need to either figure that out or replace this. But the cool thing about this thing that seems to be pretty cool, that I think is pretty good, is you just hit a button here, you hold it, it turns it on. You can put your settings in, 38, 41, whatever you want to put in. You hit the on button, and it gears the tire up to the pressure that you set. If you're 41 or you're 38 pounds per square inch, you set it and forget it, or set it and let it ride. The other thing it comes in, it also comes in kilopascals, it comes in bar. It's pretty cool, man. I like it. It seems to hold the charge pretty good still after having, I think I've had this for about 2 years. But guys, all the things that will get us back to, in some cases, to civilization, in other cases, to our hotels. Let's not wait till the emergency happens before we get out and practice using some of the things that we might need in an emergent situation. Lauren is a trooper. She never complained once about it. And that's part of our adventure, our journey, and part of this channel, sharing the things with you that I learned, some of the things that I experienced, and I hope that you can avoid certain things through some of the things that happened to me, or you can give me information on some of the things that you do. Awesome. Again, guys, the comment section has been awesome. But anyway, man, so what I'm going to say, guys, is practice using some of this stuff here. All of these things do fit in a bag. I also got a hot nail, I think it's called, bag that goes into the side of my saddlebag. I got those for traveling. A lot of these things fit into that bag. All of these things fit into that bag. I still have room for my rain gear, and there's still room that I can pack some of this stuff in. What I'm going to start doing is putting it on the left side of the motorcycle, the bags, in case I forgot how to open up the right side of the bags. Remember that little lever, guys, not that little clip. That's for the helmet. But anyway, guys, try to wrap this video up, cover as much information in a short space of time that I can. At the end of the day, man, we're back to that word practice. We're out on these motorcycles. Again, the parking lot drills, add some protection to the motorcycle, practice emergency braking if nothing else, braking and swerving. And at the end of the day, it's better that you drop your bike on the concourse or in the parking lot than to crash them out there on the streets. No throttle therapy at this point today, guys. I'm coming to you from the garage with Rich, with Ruby and Susie, and I am out.